Right, welcome back. We're here. It's the Game to Love podcast. We haven't got much to report on this week, but we're just putting an episode out there for the fans. How's everything over there in quarantine for you, JG?
Yeah, it's not too bad, man. Getting used to this life now, really. Just every day, it's the same kind of thing. I've been waking up much later, I must admit, which is nice. But yeah, like I'm just kind of getting through the phase now. Like every day just seems like the same day. I can't really differentiate between the days.
No, I know what you
So
mean.
yeah, the quicker we get back to normality, the better for me personally. Although in a way, there's been some perks. Like it's been nice to spend more time with family. Have a lot more time to myself to be like doing things what I wouldn't usually do, which is quite cool.
What's that like?
Well, just like playing like silly games and stuff with different people I wouldn't usually play with. Like I'm linking up with old friends online, or even at home. Like, you know, like little challenges and fun little things. Like I was doing the Federer challenge. We'll talk about that later on with a tennis racket. Been playing a bit of table tennis, a bit of golf in the garden, just like little bits and like, you know, like stuff you wouldn't usually have time to do or even try or even think about doing.
It's true.
But boredom drives you to a different place. So
it really does. I think everybody's becoming very creative with their little spaces, and what space you have, you sort of make the most of now. And I think people are starting to realise that they sort of took for granted what they had a little bit.
Yeah,
so if you had a little bit of a section in one of your rooms, like your lounge or your living room, or you've been sort of just cluttering your space, people have probably tidied their homes now, like I know I have, or I know that me and my girlfriend have. The house is looking like a lot cleaner, and then if we push the sofa back a little bit, you've got a lot of room for more activities in the front room, or you've got like you can go into the garden. I've been mowing the lawn. I've been just getting rid of a few bits in the back garden just to like open up the space a little bit. I wish I had a fresh wall to hit a good shot on. I've got like a very patchy wall with a few pipes running down at the moment. It's hard to avoid them.
So have you actually tried the Federer challenge yourself, or you've just been watching other people's?
I've been watching it. I've tried a little bit, but I haven't filmed my attempts. Like I tried for a little bit, but I think I was really bugging my girlfriend because she was trying to work inside, and we had the doors and windows open. It's just me smashing a ball really fast against the brick wall, which was probably very annoying.
No, I'm saying, yeah, I tried it, but I didn't record myself. I got quite good at the end, but I've just really enjoyed looking online, really, especially on Twitter, because that's what I use mainly, and just seeing so much interaction between Federer and fans, and I'm sure like it makes their day. Like it's not every day you get Federer replying to you on Twitter. It's probably the closest these people are ever going to get to Federer.
Oh, exactly. And this
amazing.
The Murray challenge as well with the 100 volleys.
That's a good one. I saw Djokovic did that as well with his wife, Elena Djokovic.
Yeah, that was a very good one. I've seen a few other quite funny ones. People have been doing these time-lapse videos, so it goes super fast.
Oh, right,
seeing their challenges on it. Yeah, it's been very, very funny.
Going back to the Federer one, I've noticed the key to getting recognised. Do you know what that is?
Good hat.
Yeah, the hat. How did you know? You literally need to have some crazy hat of any kind, and then he'll like pop up to you and reply.
Well, mate, we got like.
That's what I'm saying. With that hat, if you filmed yourself, you could have had a good chance of being on there.
Well, it's either that.
Might even got a message back.
Either that one or this one, maybe. If it's not that one, maybe this one.
God, how many hats you got?
Mate, they're just coming out of everywhere. These hats. Just get rid of that for now.
Yeah, but you've got to do the skill what matches, right? Are you able to do it?
Mate, I haven't. I'll post one online. I think we should both do one, and then we'll just pop it up on the channel just for everyone to see how we've been getting on.
The funny thing is, watching it online, yeah, it just looks so simple. And when I tried it, I was so surprised how much, like I was doing it for about 20 minutes, yeah, and my wrist afterwards felt like it was going to fall off. It just shows, like, to be a professional to be a tennis player and play tennis all the time, their wrist must be like still.
And you've got to realise, like, when you've been at home not doing anything for a long time, the actual muscles that it does in like one of your arms, you forget how many muscles you're using when you're playing tennis.
Mate. I was tense as hell after trying that. So,
and you forget the fine margins of error as well from just the angle of hitting the ball against the wall. Just it needs to hit that sweet spot every time. Otherwise, you're running.
But then when you get that rhythm going, you've got the rhythm. You can just keep it very much going. Like I saw one guy. No, actually, one of the best ones I see was Leonardo Paes. You see his one?
No, I haven't seen it.
He done it with a saucepan
legend.
And a ball. No look.
What?
He's not looking. He's just hitting it against the thing. It was incredible, honestly. Really good.
Well, when you've got a positive win record over Federer, I think you can do anything.
Mate, he's a legend. He's a legend, so he can do what he wants.
Federer's probably wanting to get that singles match back, I reckon.
Yeah. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into the main debate of what we wanted to talk about on this podcast.
Mate, that's enough funny business.
Enough of the funny business, as much as fun as it is the recent letter Djokovic has proposed to players in the top 100 in order to help distribute more money towards players who aren't having an opportunity to play. So predominantly the ranked players, 250 to 700. Yes. The ATP originally come out and they said they're going to donate $1 million to players, I think it was from 200 or 150 to 500. I'll have to check. I think they was originally doing that, but the players, predominantly the big three, so Djokovic, Nadal, Federer, have come together and decided that they feel that more players should be able to receive this benefit. So that's why they're proposing this new system. We'll put it on the screen, so it's easier for you to actually see. But as you can see, there's different breakdowns for each player. I'll get it up now.
Yeah, I heard that Djokovic is head of the Players' Council, and he's sort of running the show with the negotiations, sort of doing a breakdown, as you say, of how much each player will have to contribute based upon their ranking. And I'm guessing, in my eyes, I reckon that probably Djokovic, Federer, and Nadal probably have $1 million spare they could probably dish out themselves.
Yeah, that's the point. But I don't like that view, that mindset in terms of just because someone's got it's all in proportion. At the end of the day, they're still giving the most money than anyone else. I do agree with the fact that they should be because players from 500 to 750, they're the hardest hit. Without a doubt. So to ignore them, I just think it's ludicrous to begin with. And a lot of them players, you can't really dismiss them as people who aren't going to be great tennis players one day, because as you know, players, we know the rankings, we know a lot of the challenges or ITFs and stuff. There's some quality players in them rankings, and coming through just young kids or different people. And it's I feel like they definitely deserve the same opportunity and chance in the sport. And at the end of the day, money does talk, and they're going to need that funding to be able to do that. Especially in times like this.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just sad that they don't have the opportunity for sponsorship down in those lower ranks as well. I think that's the main reason that they are grouping together to get them that money, is because they said anybody outside the top 150 normally doesn't have the exposure to sponsorship. And it is sad because, like you say, there's a lot of very, very young up-and-coming players, probably people, I don't know if they have sponsors already, like we've spoken about a lot of times, Alcaraz, Garcia, people like that, who are the sort of next generation that we're sort of, if these players, if you don't help them out now, you want to see them fall away from their game, that type of thing. And then when we do get back in business, what's going to happen then? Are they?
And not just that; it's the pressure of it, because obviously you're fighting for a living and a career. Sometimes this pressure can be too much to take, and it's too much on young people like that. And I feel like it is a good initiative. So I've got the breakdown here, and this is what they propose.
Yeah.
So the top 5, they want to donate. They're going to donate $30,000 each. 5 to 10, $20,000. 10 to 20, $15,000 each. 20 to 50, $10,000 each, and 50 to 100, $5,000 each. So then that will, and then there's going to be the top 20 doubles players will contribute $5,000 each. We've given the total amount as just over $1 million.
How much do the doubles earn though? That's what I always wondered.
And that in addition to similar amount allocated by ATP and hopefully Grand Slam soon give 500,000 each, should be total of 4 to 5 million. Yeah.
Well, that's very good.
It's like, and it's brilliant for them to do. But like you did touch on it earlier, like how fair is their system? Because players in like say 80 to 100, like I'm going to give an example. Vasek Pospisil, he's been out of the game for a long amount of time. He's had a brilliant I think it's been the last 6 months or whatever, where he's really burst on the scene since his injury, been playing well, getting to the latter stages of different tournaments, beating some big players. We saw him beat Medvedev and he's beat some top players, like top 100 players. And he's arrived now on 93rd in the world. So with that, is that therefore fair for him to have to now contribute money to other players, considering he wouldn't have really made that much money from that spell, and he's been out for so long as well? It's just like, is that fair? Like, I don't know. Maybe that is a bad example because he's probably got quite a bit of money in the background, but should he be? Why is that of his debt? Like, what about the people who don't have that?
I think
it's an interesting debate. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can understand, obviously, the top, like, say, 20, 30, they're probably quite well off, to be honest.
It's probably, yeah. Well, I think that's going to be obviously the main debate that flies through everything. You've got the big three that probably earn the most money out of everyone through sponsorships, probably more than they earn through even the actual winning, like the actual match winnings. So that if you've got people earning that amount, what do you base it on? You're basing it just upon the fact that they're in the top 5 to give a certain amount, or do you base it upon their annual win, like how much they've actually taken home in the year or something like that? I think maybe, I don't know. Obviously, you shouldn't have to just say just because somebody's earning more, they have to give more, but they probably have a lot of excess, like more than other people to spare. Like you can say, like somebody like Federer probably has a little bit more in reserve in the bank than someone like Zverev, let's say, who's a young up and comer inside the top 10, but he's not really been playing that well. He's not really got into that.
It's different. But Zverev is loaded, man. Zverev, like, I'm sure he is. They're loaded.
I'm sure they are.
They're the type of people who are able to help the grassroots of tennis. But what I want to really touch on and focus on this episode to get my point across is the fact that I really want to give hats off and props to Djokovic. Novak Djokovic, the way he's come across. I'll be honest, I'm not been his greatest fan over the last however many years. No. However, I've always admired him. But seeing him in recent months, it's really been very humbling to hear. And I think he is just such a great ambassador for the sport and the way he represents himself. He's one of the most, I find him, he comes across so well. So I've watched the Andy Murray live and I've also watched the recent Stan Wawrinka one. And the way he comes across in such a dignified manner and the way he's always looking at helping other people out before himself, I think that definitely resonates quite a bit with me. And I think on that basis, I think it's pretty amazing that he's proposing this thing. And I think it's going to really massively help the game of tennis. So I'm giving it now. Hats off to Djokovic. Well done.
I think it's definitely hats off to Djokovic. I think, he's been one of the people that's quite up for this, playing behind closed doors to come in as soon as possible as well. I mean, I don't know.
But who is that? Who is Djokovic?
I think he is one of the pro people that is there for. I think a lot of the top players are pro, get the game started as soon as possible. If there can be testing done and if there can be like behind closed doors play done, he's a proponent of actually going ahead with it. I know there's been other players in opposition to it, but I think as we all know, tennis is going to be one of the last sports that probably will get going. And that's what I think is the big fear for all the tennis players, is you're going to see other sports which start kicking off. And then you'll have tennis that may, if they keep on going the way they're going, it might not happen until maybe like the French Open next year or something crazy like that.
Yeah. No, it's a good point you make. Me personally, I don't think there should be tennis played behind closed doors. I think you just need to wait. Like, it takes it from the sport. Like, I can understand certain events, like you can do it. I just think right now the priority needs to be health and safety. And the way it's going at the moment, like we've seen the way different governments have reacted to coronavirus, and the UK government, for example, has been criticised for acting very slowly. And I think now the focus, and Trump's like in complete denial at times, saying how he thinks, oh, it's fine, we're going to be opening up the US economy next week. There's thousands of people dying every day. I don't know. Like at the moment, I think the priority needs to be on the fact that tennis is always going to be second to health, and like we need to just keep going with this, staying at home, distancing, and just hoping that this goes. We can find a vaccine soon. But bringing back to your point of when tennis is going to be played next, I think it's not a bad shout. Probably going to be sometime next year, maybe the Australian Open.
Crazy. Yeah. It seems crazy, but I know that a lot of tennis
in a way, the only benefit of that would be is the rankings can then just resume from like where it was, but just a year later. Do you know what I mean? Like you're not missing anything in between.
Just seems strange, doesn't it? Like it just feels like a whole year of your life just snipped out. And then
it's worse for us because we actually talk about tennis. So it's like,
and obviously we get into the other topic of we had the Laver Cup, which has now been announced that is cancelled. And we know that next year Federer will be 40 if he chooses to play in the Laver Cup next year. So that's a bit of a big headline, I think.
And the interesting thing about the Laver Cup is the way it's progressed in like the last few years. Like when it first was introduced, it was very much seen as like an exhibition style tournament. Now, as you know, you get points, and it's like it's quite a very prestigious tournament to be at, and a lot of players will want to be there. So it'll be very disappointing the fact that we're not going to see that this year. But yet again, it's very disappointing not seeing Wimbledon. US Open have not said anything, but I'm pretty sure that's probably going to get cancelled as well. So it's like we're going to miss it all, man.
Hold on to some hope. We're holding on. Let's never say never until it's actually announced. So, but you never know.
You're too much of an optimist, Ben.
I'm trying for us. I'm trying to remain positive. Until we hear announcements, it's going ahead. They said it this week. It's still going ahead, but
it wouldn't be right. I'm looking at it from a humanitarian perspective. It's not correct to have that tournament.
It's September, but we'll see.
Yeah,
it's just one of. But this is like another thing we're saying about the Laver Cup and how much it's come on in like the past years. And I was speaking to one of our biggest fans today, Mr. World Lamb.
Yeah, big up, man. I like him a lot. Cool guy.
He was saying that because of like how big the Laver Cup's now become, why are women not being introduced into the Laver Cup now? Like, but they're probably looking at this as an opportunity. It's a big stage now. It's like sort of like an outside major type sort of situation.
Would you call it the Laver Cup though?
Yeah, you could still call it the Laver Cup. I don't think it has any connotations from it being about Rod Laver or being about men's tennis. I think it could still be the Laver Cup, and it could still host women's tennis. I think
it's a brilliant idea. Honestly, I think it would work, and it would be exciting as well to see.
I think so. Sure. In this day and age, like there's so many promising.
What would the teams be?
Well, there's so many promising young female tennis players that I think it would really like ramp up things if you just had that extra like tournament there that was that much more competitive.
Who would you think would win?
I don't know.
Who have you
been favouring in past years for the Laver Cup?
Always Europe, man. I'm always back in Europe.
Yeah, it's strange, but now obviously we had the last podcast with the Wolf, and we know the sort of standard of US players that are coming through now. So it makes it like it's quite interesting.
It is exciting. I just think if you look at Europe, you've got the biggest. You've got the big three. Obviously, Djokovic didn't play last year, but and you've got the likes of like Berrettini, Agut, Tsitsipas, Dominic Thiem. Mate, there's a lot of players there. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't.
But yeah, I think Team Europe have got some incredible players that you probably don't give enough credit for. I mean,
so you think Team Europe are going to win?
I think they have the ability to win. I think if I analyse the rest of the world, I think we saw the frailties in Barty's game during the Australian Open. I thought, well, the only person that I would say probably...
Come on, you can't give a Frautis. If it was a Laver Cup for the women's, the Team World would win.
Nah, we got Halep, we got Pliskova, we got Bencic, Burtons, people like this. You got Joanna Konta, mate.
Andreescu will be back. Serena Williams, Sophia Kenin, Australian Open winner.
Andreescu injured. Serena Williams getting older.
Corey Goff,
too young yet.
No, there's ridiculous amount of talent, man, on that side. And I just think they'd be too dominant, too hot to handle, in my honest opinion.
So it's like the opposite to the men's, you think?
Yeah, I think it would be. You'd see the opposite result. Like Europe would win in the men's and thing. But obviously, even in the men's, like World Cup, they always do quite well. Nick Kyrgios is always playing, does well.
True.
They've got a great team, man. It is an exciting tournament. It's just sad we're not going to see it this year.
Alex de Minaur.
Yeah. It's good. Of course.
He was stirring things up in the ATP Cup at the beginning of the year.
Oh, yeah, he's incredible. I remember watching him against, who did he play? Rafa. It was an incredible match, that one.
Yeah. One of the best.
Love that. That was really good, yeah. Makes me miss tennis even more thinking about stuff like that.
I think we've spoken enough about the non-events within tennis.
I agree. We've tried our best, and some of it is quite interesting, especially the players' fun thing. I think that's brilliant for players.
I heard there was a couple of random things that were going on. Heard Eugenie Bouchard is giving away a date to some lucky fans, apparently.
Ooh.
She's just auctioning off.
How does she select the winner?
I think she's just doing it for charity. Probably the highest bidder, I guess. Just getting a date with Eugenie Bouchard. So that's what, at least she's doing her bit for charity. So that's something interesting that's popped up. And then
we've got stories.
Alex de Minaur. He's still finding other ways to create amazing YouTube content by the looks of it. He looks like he could have been a YouTuber if he wasn't a tennis player. He would have been an amazing YouTuber. He's just
I prefer to see him on the court still. He's so good, man.
Oh, mate.
Like you say, it's funny, isn't it? Like some of the stuff he's doing, must take so many outtakes. Are you talking about the coin one with the fork?
One take.
No, that's ridiculous. That is so tough.
Yeah, so tough.
But yeah.
At least he's putting his time to good use and actually producing something which people are actually talking about.
True. But anyway, let's save our viewers from any more boredom.
Indeed.
And us talking nonsense. I think we should probably wrap it up there.
Let's wrap it up.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments about what you thought about the whole Djokovic donating play. Well, it's not just Djokovic. Just let me clarify it. It's basically the big three, but Djokovic chairs the council. So a lot of the decisions was of his own accord. But he did speak to other players as well. Consulted them first, obviously. But it's a brilliant thing for grassroots tennis. Let us know what you think about that. And anything else, Ben?
Yeah, I was going to say, if you haven't already checked out Play Your Rankings Right, our new segment, which last week started with Philip Fammer from Tweenerhead. We've got a new episode coming out this Thursday. It's with the last guy on our podcast, Wolf, ATP physio of Taylor Fritz, Riley Opelka, Tommy Paul, lots of top players, Mackenzie McDonald. So, yeah, check him out on Play Your Rankings Right this week, this Thursday. So don't miss it.
It was actually really fun to make, so I hope you enjoy it as well, as much as we do making it.
And he knows his stuff, this guy. So, yeah, be prepared for a very, very action-packed episode of that.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening to this video. Make sure you like and comment and subscribe. Guess that's it. Peace.
Over and out.